postseason, what's the value now? Basically having two ace pitchers. And I know you got a lot of confidence in Maggie too, but your two starters. And, what's the luxury there?
Well, especially the big luxury is looking at what Megan Kleiss has done the last couple of weeks. She's basically pitched 14 innings in 2+ weeks now, so I feel like she's ready to make a good run at this stretch. And hopefully we'll, she's still the one we look at. She's still a leading pitcher, and I feel like she's rested and ready to go.
So would you throw her back-to-back games this weekend?
Hey, you never know what I'll do. Sometimes I get back there and I make some crazy decisions, but I do have that possibility of running a back-to-back. But with the way Miranda's probably throwing, there's probably no way to think about that. But if I had to bring her in the first game or something like that, I could do that.
Can you contrast them both in terms of their stuff and also their demeanor on the mound?
Yeah, well, Megan's like check her for a heartbeat. She's pretty stoic out there and real quiet, and Miranda's just pumped up. You look at the footage afterwards, and Miranda's jumping around and just getting into it and very fired up. And that's the way she's got to be. And we talk about it in a continuing spectrum. It's like where you need to be, where you need to be at your best. And obviously Megan's better when she's relaxed. Miranda needs to be amped up a little bit.
What are you seeing from Kentucky?
Well, obviously a very good team. If you look at them, you can do some scouting on them. They're almost about the same team that they came here last year. So they've experienced. They know what it's like to come out here and be in this atmosphere. They're a competitive team. They've seen just as good a pitching as we have all year. They've faced probably one of the toughest SEC schedules, especially away from home, so their record's a little misleading, I think. They have good power, in the lineup with Abby Cheek, especially. Martins is pretty good. Reed at the top of the order is good speed. They're athletic. They're just a really good team, and I think it's a tough matchup, personally. Their pitching is something we can maybe able to get after a little bit if you look at their numbers, but still, that freshman Bauman's doing a good job for them and faced some very good teams.
Stuff-wise, are the pitchers similar but different enough to present a different look?
In the SEC, there's some pitches. Auburn's pitches were pretty similar to what Kleiss does a little bit. I don't think they have quite the mix that Kleiss does, so I think that Kleiss may have something they haven't seen before, but they have seen in the last 2 years. Elish, obviously a power type pitcher, and they have plenty of those in the SEC. So I don't think there's anything that we're going to bring that they haven't seen, and that's why I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think we really have to score some runs this weekend. We have to get better with our bats.
What do you remember from the series that you guys had here last year with them? And I mean, does that play kind of any role in the way you scout them, or is it just kind of a new year, new team?
It's a new year, new team, but still there's some similarities. If you look back at last year, we were down that second game with 2 outs in the 7th, I think it was, and we came back and scored. And they made the most of their opportunities. They put pressure on us with their speed, and they're going to do the same thing. I've watched all the tape on them. They're going extra bases. They're running hard. They're playing the game the way it should be played. And I've got a lot of respect for Coach. Coach Lawson, who does a great job over there and gets her team to play up, I think, never down.
You shuffled the lineups out of that what you wanted to see?
A little bit. I mean, obviously I got to try and look at the matchups. I'd like to know who they're throwing first game. I could probably match it up a little bit better, but where do I put Cruz, I think, and does Lauren Burke get more time? Those are the two big ones that I've got. Is hopefully Gwen's going to break out this weekend and have a better weekend offensively, I think. DJ, I'd like to just have our players hit full stride one weekend here, especially this coming up.
How do you think Cruz handled that? It seemed like she made really good contact every at bat, but maybe only got one hit. I don't even remember. But how do you judge the game she had at the plate Saturday?
Maybe that was the juju I broke. She was getting all the hits in the world dropping, and all of a sudden I changed her. Maybe that was at 9 spots for her, and she goes, hits 3 line drives and gets one hit. It's just one of those luck things, I think. And you look at the quality of bats and what kind of matchup is you against their pitching. Those are the things I've got to look at.
We were talking to Gwen, and she says she thinks the team's kind of calm right now and locked in. As the stage grows in the postseason, how do you kind of want to see your team carry themselves, and what have you seen from them this week?
Well, I'd like to not get overwhelmed by the situation, not to overamp ourselves. I think they play better when they're having fun. So I've asked them, how do you perform best? What do you need to do to perform better? Don't change anything. Don't try to go at 110%. You can't do that. So you got to stay calm but focused. You've almost got to be like an assassin type approach. You've got to be calm but deliberate. And I think we know what we need to do. We've got to focus on it, have great focus, and approach, and obviously execute the fundamentals better than anybody else, and just like we have all year. That's what's got us to where we're at. So basically, do nothing different than what we've done so far. Have great pitching, good defense, and some timely hitting.
Kentucky said that being a part of this atmosphere last year maybe not necessarily like threw them off their game, but it was a challenge for them. What are you kind of expecting to see atmosphere-wise this weekend? How big of an advantage is that for you guys?
Well, hopefully it'll be loud, raucous. We'll be on them a little bit. I mean, that's what we want. But we've got to keep our crowd involved, and we can't let them get ahead of us and take our crowd out of it. We've got to use our crowd as a tool to help us, elevate our game, so to speak.